Right, here's a question for you. Who here remembers playing out when you were kids? Of a certain age, then undoubtedly you will know exactly what I'm talking about. Tearing around on your rally chopper, kicking a ball around with some mates, pretending not to hear your mum when she calls you in for your tea. Happy memories for those of us of a certain age. Sadly, it's something that has become increasingly rare for kids today. Well, one group of neighbours decided to do something about it with remarkable results.
Playing Out is an innovative scheme that was started in Bristol by Bristol people to basically close streets and allow children to be outside, play, run around, have fun, and also for communities basically to get to know each other and spend time together.
Neighbours get together to close their street to traffic for a couple of hours, either after school or at a weekend, and just create a safe space for children to come out and play and for neighbours to meet. And through traffic is diverted, stewards stand at either end of the street and let cars come in and out.
Started on one street in Bristol, Alice's Street, that's now spread around the country. It's a way of temporarily giving children some safe space to play in so that they can be active, make friends, get to know their street and their neighbours. We found that when our children were small, we were all in quite similar positions of not really knowing our neighbours, and that was quite a common experience for everyone. And through Playing Out, we've seen how having that safe public space in front of everybody's house can kind of bring neighbours together of different ages and backgrounds and break down some of those barriers and really change the way a street feels for everyone.
I love it. I think it's great. It reminds me of my own time. Children are prisoners now, really. They're not allowed to go out unless they're supervised by an adult, and that's not how you grow up. You learn to be a human being by interacting with people.
If I wasn't doing Playing Out, I would probably be on a screen or just doing homework, like boring stuff. Playing Out is a lot better because you can just have fun with your friends and you're active and you're outside.
Playing Out is better than playing out in the garden because you can do it with your friends.
You can make friends that you maybe would have never made if you were on a screen at home.
It's like much better for you and things to be outside having fun.
So over 200 streets have road closures in Bristol now. Most of those it's once a month, although some streets choose to do it more regularly. And we know that those children that are taking part in Playing Out are up to 5 times more active than they would be on a normal day. And that's been through research done with the University of Bristol.
And all in all, people say that their streets feel a different and friendlier and happier place to live.
From Playing Out, please welcome Alice Ferguson and Ingrid Skeels. Congratulations. Well done. Well done, Ingrid. So look, I was talking about the fact that I can remember playing out when I was younger, but I also had a really grumpy neighbour, Mr. Johnson, that if we booted the ball over his fence, he would really be angry, and we have to wait till it got dark to climb over the fence to get it back. Did you get much pushback, Alice, when you started this, from anybody who was nervous about the fact that the kids are going to be marauding up and down the streets, booting balls at their gardens?
I mean, I think there's a Mr. Johnson on every street, right?
Yeah.
We all had one. But the fact is that a whole generation of children are missing out on something that we all grew up with, that we took for granted, that gave us all something really, really important, and we didn't even notice it. So we were outside every day, being physically active. For some people, we were talking to the wonderful David Seaman earlier, and he said a whole generation of footballers grew up playing out on the street, and that was their way into sport. And I think you'd find that was true for a lot of sporting people of our generation. So
I walked around the town I grew up in Epping with my parents a few weeks ago, just randomly, and one of the things that I was really upset was a lot of the greens that we used to play on had signs saying no balls allowed. I mean, there's signs everywhere, no playing, like little greens where we used to kick the ball about. And it's an incredibly important thing. I think the other thing I really loved, Ingrid, was the idea that you're getting to know your neighbours and getting to know the community, you're bringing people out and actually introducing each other to the people who live near them.
Yeah, I mean, people are really trapped in their homes now, and children are as well, and they often only know the people in the same class as them. And we found that through Playing Out on different streets, sometimes children are discovering that children in their own class live on their street and they didn't know. So they're that isolated. And I think what we've seen in so many of the films, it's about bringing people together through sport, through playing out, is a way of breaking down some of the barriers that exist between ages and backgrounds and different views. And yeah.
It's the sort of scheme that can very easily see being replicated around the country, though, Alice. Any advice for people who may be watching this live on Facebook or might be in the room thinking, that's a brilliant idea, we could do that where we live?
Well, we very much want to dedicate this award to all the parents who are doing this on their streets. So there are over 1,000 streets now across the UK that have taken up this idea. And it is a brave thing to do, because it is pushing back on, the norm and on the status quo. But, all those parents feel passionate that their children should have that right to play out where they live as a normal part of their life. So, the advice would be go to our website, see how to do it. It's really not that hard. It just takes a little bit of dedication and a bit of effort, but it's so worth it, because you'll get to know all your neighbours, your children will have a brilliant time, and they will massively thank you for it.
And they'll not be on their screens. They will not be on their screens.
Well, screens get blamed for a lot, actually, but if there's no alternative for children, screens and parents get blamed for everything. But actually, if your children aren't safe to go out because of traffic, then there isn't much alternative. So actually, we're trying to use the thousands of parents who are doing this as a kind of platform to ask for there to be bigger change, really, for local government and government to make streets safer for children.
The momentum has begun, which is lovely to see. It's time to present your awards. Delighted to introduce two sporting parents who know how important it is for kids to be able to get out and keep active. Please welcome to the stage Olympic champions Sally Gunnell and Greg Rutherford. Go on, Alice, you take that.
I think pretty much everybody in here can relate to playing outside and having a great time and how important that is. And as sports people, that's the foundation to give us a chance to actually flourish and go out there and find what works for us. And similar to you, Ben, I go past some of the areas where I grew up and I see no children playing outside anymore. And they are losing a really, really important part of their development. So I think what the ladies have done here is truly remarkable. And it really, really did ring true to me when I was very lucky to be on the judging panel this year. It's an amazing opportunity to give kids the chance to get out there and play. And we seem to have lost it as a generation. It's really, really bizarre and odd how that's happened. So we need more of this. We need everybody to take it up, to close the street, to give kids the chance to really thrive.
It's such a simple idea, Sally, as well, isn't it?
It is, and it is so simple but so effective. And I remember a questionnaire thing we did, and about what makes a champion, what makes someone excel in sport, and it's about how active you are as children. And if kids aren't able to do that, you think, where are the champions of the future? But to me, it's about, if you install a way of being healthy and active from that young age, then you're more likely to carry on. I think that's what's so important as well. So amazing, and such a simple idea, but it can go so far. So well done to both of you.
I think we're going to see that happen. Thank you very much, Greg, Sally, and also to Alice and Ingrid.